Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage in the warm state of Maine. It's early Sunday morning and it's already pushing 70 degrees. Be a good day to stay cool for sure, unless you like it hot. Me, I'm a shade dweller by nature. Today is a shop update, weekly update, whatever. Well, we talk about all kinds of random stuff. I am almost approaching 5,000 subscribers, which is amazing to me. I didn't think I'd get more than 2. And sometimes, all the time, the people are ultimately super nice. I mean, you get 1 or 2 that, maybe aren't, but in general, considering the internet is sometimes a bad place, my experience has been wonderful. For instance, I had a guy ask me for my address. He wanted to send me some parts that he made. His name is David Nod. I don't know if he wants to sell this stuff. He can comment on the video if you're interested. If he's interested, you can hook up that way. But he sent me a governor cover for a Turbo 400 that he made. Go right there. Okay, visual. Right there. And it's all countersunk and perfect. Very nice. And thick enough to drill and tap if you want to put a return there or anything for your dump bell. Very similar to the ICT billet piece. He made and sent me 2 modulator clamps. They're extra thick, they're straight, but I think they're going to work pretty good. But however he's building these, he has the ability to duplicate because these things are absolutely the same. So I don't know how he's doing it. Plasma probably. But he's got it figured out. That's pretty cool. And those pieces are awesome. But this, holy smokes, this would replace my Kadee tool for lifting the complete lower unit out of your Turbo 400. This piece here had to be super precision to grab the main shaft. I can't wait to actually try it, but I've tried it on a few lower units I got on the shelf. And you put it in and lift straight up, and I kind of like the great big handle. I made a T-handle for this one. But that is cool. So I can see that being pretty popular, and the way it's offset so it balances. Genius. Pretty awesome. I've mentioned before that I was 15 years old and my first job was at a transmission shop. And my second job was at a transmission shop. Started R&Ring, remove and replace. So you're under vehicles all the time. And this is the early 80s. And of course I'm in Maine, so you see a lot of 4-wheel drive plow trucks. And you think you've seen every combination of engine, transmission, transfer case, truck, etc. And nothing you find that shows up in a core is going to surprise you. Yet, I still get surprised every now and then. And, well, I'll show you a couple examples, and then we'll come back. There's nothing exciting or unique about this remanufactured, it's Gearstar brand, 4L80E. With converter. This is brand new. I took it in trade. They come full of oil. I assume they dyno test them. And they give you, 5 quarts to top off of Dextron 6. And I have the receipt. So why I'm showing you this is one of the options or upgrades that this guy bought was a small 27 spline output shaft and the adapter ring to convert this to a half-ton transfer case. Normally when you're swapping a 4L80E into a 4-wheel drive, you have to get the 32 spline Turbo 400 size input shaft transfer case to mate up to your 3/4 ton and larger 4L80E with the big output shaft. So the only reason I'm showing you this is, in modern times, right now, you could buy an adapter kit. I saw I keep putting my finger in there, I'm just pointing. And this transmission here was, I don't know, $4,300. I have the slip. I'm going to convert it to two-wheel drive. And when I do that, we'll see what's inside. From the description, it's nothing but a stock transmission with new electronics. So it'll be interesting to see what you get for your money. I have not had a Gearstar brand apart. I hear they have a good reputation. I'm sure they're fine. Transmissions are expensive. This is in 2018, I believe it was built. Pre-COVID, I'm sure it's even gone up from there. But this was, at the time, $4,300. But adapter kits do exist. So let's go look at the Turbo 400 I have. This gem showed up as a core. And right off the bat, it also has a 27 spline output shaft. Now, I don't believe GM ever made that. So this must be an adapter kit of some sort. So the output shaft will remain a mystery. That's only part of the mystery here. Somebody explain that. Obviously, it's a cable-driven modulator. Now, the early four-wheel drive Chevys did come with a diesel, but their early GM diesels were Oldsmobile engines with Oldsmobile Bellhousens, which obviously this is Chevy, so maybe an early 6.2 application, which had a Chevy Bellhausen, but I've never seen that that modulator setup, ever. Interesting. So I'll gingerly take it apart. Maybe I can save it, put it on the shelf, and never use it. But that is an odd transmission. It's an 8-bolt case showing all 8 bolts on the pump. It's a metal vent, so you know it's pre-74-ish. The tag is missing. Yeah, this one's a question mark to me. But I do like the old ones where you know what you're dealing with. I see 8 bolts right there. There's no mystery. You don't have to pop the pump out to see what you have. It's just right there in your face. So this will be an interesting core to take apart. Some of the reasons that make it unique or weird is the 6.2 diesel with the Chevy Bellhausen didn't come out till 1982. So you wouldn't be putting a metal vent transmission from the factory in there because they stopped doing that way before that. And yes, I know, and I have some of the small 27 spline output shafts that, for two-wheel drive applications that take a tail housing, but this is a four-wheel drive output shaft. So the adapter ring obviously missing, but that is not two-wheel drive length. That is a four-wheel drive length 27 spline output shaft. So I haven't done a lot of research on it. If you know that this is factory or aftermarket, feel free to chime in. Now let's talk about this mess. This is not mine. It's the Willys pickup I need to do some work on. I'm going to mount the engine and transmission, put a different front axle under it, put a different rear axle under it, and these crazy looking ladder bars and stuff. Not my speed, especially the gasser style front end, which is already causing me problems because I was going to work on it right here under the 56 wagon, but because it sits as high as a four-wheel drive, it won't even clear the lift. So I got to go to plan B and move more stuff around. But I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't get the full width rear end with tubs. That obviously, and it's going to get another full width rear end, so that's kind of weird. Somebody made this bed, obviously. And it has a tilt nose, fiberglass. It's pretty cool. In pretty good shape. I know these pickups are pretty rare. Not perfect, nothing is, because it's old, but anyway, we'll be working on this once I find a place to do so. There's nothing like the smell of fresh spray paint on a Sunday morning. I can already tell you it's going to be a warm one. I think I mentioned that, but yeah. Anyway, I had painted this the other day, this Turbo 400 case, in flat black, and I just didn't like it. So today I went over it with gloss, hoping that the paints weren't going to react And it looks like I got away with it, so that's okay. Here in late July, early August at my house, the lawn kind of slows down mowing. But it was due to be mowed the other day. I went to fire up the old trusty Grasshopper, which has been an awesome mower for, I think I've had it 12 years. It's a diesel, 6-foot deck. It's made to run 8 hours a day or more. I run it probably 8 to 10 hours a year. So if anything, it's in retirement. And it's not given me very much trouble. Like all things new, if something is going to give you trouble, it's going to be in the safety switches. So the safety switches on each handle. There's one on the seat that knows your presence, and there's one on the park brake handle next to the seat. For a while now, the left-hand handle, you had to wiggle it to make it start, and eventually it just stopped allowing the starter to engage. So like a bad boy, I've been just jumping the starter. I have a wire all at the ready, and I just touch it to the starter, to the positive terminal, no big deal. And she fires right up. However, the other day, it would not fire. And then, jumpering it, it would start and shut off, which is what happens when the safety system thinks that the PTO, the red knob is on, and the parking brake is set. It won't let you get off in any way near the turning blades if you get up out of your seat. You know, you're all familiar with the safety stuff. So the seat present switch had been bypassed when I got it. So I took the fenders off. That's what you have to do to get to the wiring, to get to the switches on the handles. And I temporarily bypassed the left side because it wasn't clicking when you sit here outside in the quiet. Of course, it was a hot day when I had to fix it because I wanted to get the lawn mowed before I went up to the boat for the weekend. I ended up spending about 3 hours, and I found the problem, which is what always happens, is this box here with all the wiring was full of mouse nest, and it had eaten one of the wires. So I fixed all that, and it would now run, but the deck wouldn't engage still. So messing with that, I shook the relay and it exploded in my hand because it was full of mouse urine, water, mung. So at least it pinpointed the problem right in front of me. I put a relay in and was finally able to mow. But when you wait to the last second to do something instead of keeping it 100%, because I feel like I neglect it a little bit. I only use it in pocket and it sits outside. I don't even cover it in the wintertime, so it's got nice patina. Hey, Sean, just want to interject a few things. I don't like doing this because, wow, it really messes up my eyes, doesn't it? Anyway, the Grasshopper mower is not new. I've had it 12 years. It spent the first 2,000 hours at a landscaping company. And all the damage you see, the rust, the damage on the seat and the armrests, I haven't modified that or changed it a bit. That's exactly how it showed up. I didn't pay a lot of money for it. It's been a really good unit. I consider myself lucky to have it, and I'm going to start taking better care of it. I promise. This week I managed to get my hands on a Reed case, the drag race version, to build another transmission out of. They make an off-road version as well. It has some upgrades for four-wheel drive stuff. You can look it up on their website, but I've only dealt with the drag race version. I believe the drag race version could be made into 100% stock automatic shifting transmission. I think everything is there to do so. I just don't know who would ever do that. If you're going to spend that much money on a case, why would you make it stock? But I think you could if you had to. Anyway, the off-road one, I can see that being a case where you might want it. Automatic shifting, keep the front band, all that stuff. Speaking of front bands, that gloss black case I showed you, I was had it almost prepped and done, and then I finished doing it the other day and painted it. And while I was painting it, I noticed I had knocked out the front anchor pin for the front band because it was going to get a case saver. And the intended application that I need the case for, I'm going to put a front band in it. It's going to be an automatic shifting street transmission. So that is not the case I'm going to use. So I'll have to dig up another one. maybe this one. It's been hanging behind me for a month now. Let's just get it out of the picture and strip it out. And it won't be dirty. So the life is passing by as we speak, as I sit here talking. So I'm going to go out and engage in it. And I hope you do too. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll catch you soon.